Hello YouTube, it's been a while. I think it'll keep being a while. I've got ministry I'm doing at the church. We're recording a show and editing it, and I've got once again job apps and all kinds of stuff, just daily life stuff. I wanted to talk and ask a rather serious question that God's been challenging me with, and I'm hoping He's talking to some of you about it. You are in my car right now. My question's really this: is where are the praying men, and where are, the praying husbands? And I ask this question to myself. I ask it because, me and my wife have a really good relationship, but there was always this feeling that there could be more, that there should be more, that God would want there to be more. I really came to a head, I'm reading basically finished, I got a few pages left to go, on a book, Wild at Heart. It's about a man's soul, and really how God designed us in correlation with women and whatnot. And it's a fabulous read. I encourage you to get it. It's called Wild at Heart. One of the things he discusses is, a man prays for his wife. A man prays for his country. A man acts. We really have and I don't mean this as, I don't want people to take this wrong, but we have a spirit of femininity, if that's a word. And really a demasculating spirit in this country. Men are not to be men. What does that mean? Well, read the book Wild at Heart. Everybody should read that, male or female. In fact, my wife read it and she really loved it. I gotta ask, where are the men that are taking a stand in this country? And why is the system itself starting to evolve, if you will, away and leaving men behind in its wake? Let me explain. A few years back, I had a friend talk to me. Well, it wasn't really a friend, it was just a guy. And he talked to me and he says, in around a few years' time, you're not going to be able to get a job in retail, and easily. I said, really? How's that? And now his job was, he monitored surveys in when places employ who, and he monitors the personality tests you have to take to get a job. And he goes, well, the personality tests are being framed more along the lines of how a woman thinks and feels about things, not as a man thinks and feels about things. Now obviously there are some people, I'm not making a stereotype, some men can be very feely and some women can be more right side of the brain thinking, but that's, he says these things are being framed after women. And he goes, in a few years you're going to have a tough time finding a job. I can tell you now, these few years later, I walk around, I'm in, I don't like saying where I live, but as I look around, every retail store, Dunkin' Donuts, Stop and Shops, I may be in trouble for saying that, but they all, I'm seeing no men at all on the floor, even in the stock rooms. And I started asking around, and my sister-in-law turns out knows somebody who owns a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts. She says, they're not hiring men, they're hiring women. Now, do I think women shouldn't be doing this work? I think that's fine. But I think it's interesting that women are getting the jobs and men are not, because men are more rough and tumble, and we are more black and white in our thinking. And it's interesting that, out of 4 or 5 Dunkin' Donuts, there's only one male employee. This is really a proverbial to the whole country, especially right now when our men are being shipped off to war. We really are a country, I think equality is great, but there are differences between people. And I gotta send a shout out to the men, that we have to start being men. We have to step up. Let me tell you something. Sitting in front of a TV, having some woman cater your every need, getting a big house or a good job, and sitting there and being macho has nothing to do with being a man. Being a man has to do with standing up and saying, I believe this is wrong. I believe it's wrong that I can work for an employer who's telling me to lie to their customers, and I can stand up against that and I lose my job. We see this continually in this country. I think a hedge of protection is really going to fall for all of us if men don't pick up and be men. As far as men in, a relationship, in a marriage, you should be spending at least, the goal I'm setting for myself, and I'm going to go upwards with it, is at least an hour a week praying for my wife, just specifically for her and my child. And while you're in prayer, you'll find out the places where you as a man are also failing. I think with that said, I could keep going. I want to give a list of resources now to describe, because a lot of what it said can be taken out of context. I think Wild at Heart is a read everybody should do, without a doubt. David Wilkinson on YouTube talks a lot about prayer. You can pick up, books anywhere. You go to any Christian store and pick up about what real men are supposed to be. In a society, if a man is, a young boy is playing soldiers, it's considered now, he's acting out, and that's wrong. That's not wrong. That was built into him. Why does he play soldiers, and why do women tend to play princesses? I don't believe it's a cultural thing, because we see aspects of it in every culture, regardless of what you're brought up in, throughout history. Why does a woman feel she needs to be desired and sought after? That's supposed to be that way. This whole equality thing that men and women are the same is a lie. And it's a lie out of the pits of hell, and it's hurting a lot of people. And I got to speak out about it. With that said, this is kind of a loosey-goosey video. I'm just stating some opinions, because I want to stir people up, and I want to see what the response is. To see how people, I bet you a lot of people may take this wrong, and a lot of people may take this in some serious stride and challenge themselves. With that, God bless.